Looks like coming in the ring first is going to be Jenna Rhodes of Cozad, and her goat she calls Funky. And then we have Miss Rihanna Rieger, a hometown girl right here from Lexington, and she's got her goat Peach. Let's welcome in our Global Vet 4-H showmen as they get around and kick off the 2025 Dawson County Fair Goat Show. Well, here to kick off our goat show here this morning, we got two young ladies out here in the Clover Kid division. Let's put our hands together for these girls for coming out and continue with the show. And we'll keep that applause going for your Clover Kids, and that's Jenna Rhodes and her goat she calls Funky, and then Miss Rihanna Rieger and her goat Peach. The future does look bright in Dawson County with those young ladies doing an outstanding job showing two good goats here to kick off our goat show today. As they exit themselves out of the ring, we go back gate side, swing the gate, and we welcome in our junior goat showmen to kick off the 2025 Dawson County Goat Show. These are the meat goat showmen coming in. We'll have dairy goat showmen later on. On the goat side in the junior division, we have back number 302, Elsie Cool of Gothenburg at the 10 Twisters 4-H Club. 234, Natalie Rhodes of Cozad, the 100th Meridian Club. 256, Katie Wolf of Cozad and Antelope Livestock. 331, Daniel Paley or DJ from Gothenburg and the Goat Gatherers. And we have 316, Lucille Cool of Gothenburg and the Tail Twisters Club. 356, Riker Biffasy out of Gothenburg and the Goat Getters Club. 233, Cameron Rhodes out of Cozad and the 100th Meridian Club. 318, Maddie Anderson of Gothenburg and the Tail Twisters Club. 288, Keely Nichols of Eddyville and the Sumner Livestock Club. And then we have Gracie Klingman of Gothenburg and the Goat Getters. These kids all ranging in ages of 8 to 11. It is your junior showmanship division here at the 2025 Dawson County Fair on the Goat Show and Meat Goat Showmanship. Cal, thank you for coming me to Dawson County to support our Goat Show today. Entering the ring now is your intermediate goat show on the meat goat side. Includes 290 Ryan Haken of Sumner and Eddyville Livestock. 289 Colin Nichols of Eddyville and Sumner Livestock Club. 311 Katie Anderson of Gothenburg Tail Twisters. And 341 Kai Benvasi of Gothenburg and the Go Getters. That is your intermediate showmanship on the meat goat side.
Out here in our intermediate showmanship drive, I think there's one individual in particular that kind of stands out for our champion. I think it's a little bit closer for reserve, but the one that's going to go ahead and win is just the most comfortable out here, and just the posture and the way that they're standing alongside their animal. They're standing up straight. They're making eye contact with the judge, and then at the same time, they're giving the animal a stop and set up and squaring all four corners and making sure that they're in line. Those are kind of the things we're looking for out here. So it gets a little bit closer for reserve, but I'll go out and show you my champion and reserve showman.
And in your intermediates, your grand champion intermediate goat showman will be back number 311, Katie Anderson of Gothenburg Tail Twisters. And your reserve champion, 289, Colin Nichols of Eddyville and Sumner Livestock. Congratulations once again, receiving blue in the intermediate showmanship will be 290, Ryan Hagen, and 341, Kai Benvasi of Gothenburg. Congratulations all of our intermediate goat showmen. And your intermediate goat showman trophy is presented by Lexington Feeder Services. Thank you to Lexington Feeder Services for their support of the intermediate goat showman. I'll take us now over into your senior goat showman. So this will be our final class of meat goat showmanship. As we welcome in back number 295, Abby Negley of Gothenburg Tail Twisters. 342, Keaton Benvasi of the Gothenburg Goat Getters. 296, Aaliyah Negley of Gothenburg and the Tail Twisters. 287, Carson Nichols of Eddyville and Sumner Livestock. 214, Addison Hunter of Cozad and the 100th Meridian 4-H Club. And 319, Matthew Rhodes of Cozad and the 100th Meridian. Our seniors ranging in ages of 14 to 17. Again, it's your seniors showmanship round and meat goat show here at Dawson County Fair. This will be first and second call for breeding meat goats. Does on the side when we start the breeding meat goat show, and right after we conclude with the senior showmanship. Again, we'll run the dairy goat showmanship just ahead of the dairy goat show, so we're going to roll right into the breeding goat show. So class 1 of the does be getting ready. Those are does born between September 1st, 24 and June 1st, 2025, it looks like. Those are all November, December borns that are in class 1. So class 1 of the breeding does be lining up at the gate. Class 1 of the breeding does be ready to go after the senior showmanship.
For our senior showmanship, again, what I'm looking for out here is making sure that we get our animals set up square, with the front feet square, back feet square, make sure that the top lines are level and that they're not too stretched out, and then making sure that their head's in the right spot, and then also making sure that you're in a parallel line with the animal in front of you and behind you. I think those are all really big things that go into showmanship, and then from there, it just comes down to who can do it the quickest and the fastest. And I think that there's one individual out here that kind of sticks out in their ability to get that done quickly and efficiently, gets a little bit closer for champion reserve. But I'll go out and show you who I thought which two did the best job. But let's give these kids a big round of applause.
And your champion will be 295 as Abby Neckley of Gothenburg Tail Twisters. And your reserve will be 296 Aaliyah Neckley of the Gothenburg Tail Twisters. The Neckley family taking the senior showmanship. So again, your grand champion, 295, Abby Neckley, and your reserve champion, 296, Aaliyah Neckley. Receiving blue and our senior showmanship, 342, Keaton Bevesey. Receiving blue, 287, Carson Nichols. Receiving blue, 214, Addison Howder. Receiving blue, 319, Matthew Rhodes. Let's put our hands together once again for all of our senior goat showmen and all of our goat showmen here. Let's get ready for class 1 of the goats. Your senior goat showmanship trophy is sponsored by Clay Patton, Marshall Land Brokers, and Auctioneers. Thank you to Clay Patton, Marshall Land Brokers, and Auctioneers for sponsoring our senior trophy.
Per semester.
Class 1 of the breeding does be getting ready. These are our November and December 2024 born does. Class 1, be ready.
Yeah, I have about 2,500. So, oh, you didn't have that. Because my understanding right now is like on paper, she doesn't have but she does have like I don't know what her credit score is, but I think that might not like so.
Let's open the gate and welcome in our first class as we kick off the breeding goat show, the meat goat show. As we kick off with the first class of does, welcome in 356, Riker Benavisi. It is born in November 2024. And then we'll welcome in 341, Kai Benavisi. And her November-born doe, Cameron Rhodes. 233 back number, 234, Natalie Rhodes, and 319, Matthew Rhodes. And there are 3 December 2024 born does. This will make up class number 1. This will be first and second call for class 2 of the breeding does, all born January to February 2025. So again, call 1 and 2 for class 2 on the breeding goat side. As we welcome in that first class of does ringside now.
Okay. Okay. And maybe honestly, I might try to just. Yeah. And it's more just maybe like so it's kind of exposure. And I think I what I saw was like this qualified each year.
Nice class of does to kick off the breeding doe show, and the one that's going to go ahead and lead off with kind of just dominates this class in terms of just power, body, and dimension. She's easily the most impressive in that regard. And then with that, she still is able to travel with the right kind of a flexibility and balance as she moves around the ring. A nice one to go ahead and lead off with. The young man's Dapple that's going to come here in second probably follows most closely, just type and kind as our class winner, in the sense that she's really good body and good structure. I like the kind of extra length and extension and femininity she has through her front end compared back to our class winner. It's just when you get right on top of these ghosts, she's not nearly this massive, stout dimensional as the one directly ahead. She needs to be stouter for her to make a play to win in this particular class. The blonde doe that's going to come here in third, and the young man gets her bracelets when she looks her best. That's a muscular, shapely kind of a doe that's got a lot of square shape over her rack and her loin. When you get right behind her, though, she's not nearly as just opened up as the ones directly ahead of her, and then off to the side. She doesn't have the same kind of just look and balance as well. I need to see her just a shot more attractive for her to work up any higher. The doe that's going to come here in fourth is honestly very similar, just type and kind as the one that went directly ahead. Another one that handles hard and expressive when you get your hands on her. She just doesn't have the same kind of just chest width, body shape, or just overall dimension throughout from the side. So I want to see her just more attractive, the build of her hip and hind leg for her to work up any higher. And then the paint doe that's going to round out the class is a feminine, good body, kind of a female in her own right. Doesn't have near the same kind of just muscularity or dimension as the ones ahead. So I want to see her more attractive in the way that her rear skeleton is assembled. But let's go ahead and give those exhibitors a nice round of applause.
And results from Class 1 of your November to December 2024 Horned Does. Out in first in purple, 341, Kai Benevisi. Second in purple, 356, Riker Benevisi. Third in blue, 319, Matthew Rhodes. Fourth in blue, 233, Cameron Rhodes. Fifth in blue, 234, Natalie Rhodes. Let's open the gate now and welcome in class number 2 of breeding does. He's born in January to February 2025. We'll welcome in back number 295, Abby Negley. 275, Gracie Klinknight. And 342, Keaton Benevisi. Great contestants make up class 2 of breeding does. Nice trio of does out here, but the young man's paint doe is going to win pretty comfortably for me. One of the two just stouter, more powerful, dimensional females in this class, and she compares it with the right kind of just look and balance from the side. She's easily the most feminine and attractive female up front in terms of just the length and extension she has to her neck, the shallowness to her chest, and then with that, she's still the strongest down her top line and has the most attractive set to her hip and hind leg. A nice one to go ahead and lead off with. The young lady's Dapple doe that's going to come here in second. When you get your hands on these does, she's arguably the most impressive in terms of just shape of her wrap and loin and power out to her hip. That's where she holds an advantage over the class winner.
It's just from the side. She's not as attractive in the way that she carries her power with her look. She's just a bit of a coarser built female who's a little more off behind her shoulder, rounder out through her hip, and not as attractive in the way that she utilizes her hind leg. The red note that's going to round out the class in her own right is still a very high quality kind of a female that balances well. She's big footed, she's stout about her skull. I like all those things about her a good deal. It's just when you compare her to the two directly ahead of her, when she's the flatter, narrower constructed doe that's more coordinated in her rear leg. That's ultimately why she needs to end up third in this particular class. It's still a nice one to round out. Let's give those kids a nice round of applause.
And your results from Class 2 of the Breeding Doe Show: out in first in purple, 342, Keaton Benbassy. Second in purple is 275, Gracie Quinkenite. Third in blue will be 295, Abby Begley. Let's open the gate and welcome in class number 3 of our breeding does. These does all born March 2025, all March 2025 born does. As we kick things off, we welcome into the ring 331, DJ Daly. 342, Keaton Benbassy. 275, Gracie Quinkenite. 302, Elsie Cool. 311, Katie Anderson. 256, Katie Wolf. And 318, Maddie Anderson. This is class 3 of the breeding does, again, all born March 2025. This will be first and second call for class 4. And with that one being a small class, we'll go ahead and put class 5 on alert as well.
a nice group of does here in this class, particularly on the top end. I definitely think that there's a lot of discussion and quality and bringing value in those first four, but the young man's doe that's going to lead off with, pretty comfortable, needs to win. Of this four, that's the most powerful doe. It's the most open up in her chest, roundest in her body type, and carries the most muscularity and dimension throughout. And then with that, she's one of the sounder structured does. She's the neatest and most correct in her lines and her balance and motion. So very strong on her pasterns as well. A nice one to go ahead and lead off with. The does that come here in second and third, I think, are incredibly similar in the way that they're put together from a skeleton standpoint. Young lady's doe that's going to end up here in second is just the stouter, more powerful female that's denser about her skull, bigger in her forearm and her foot size down low. So it's just a shot more shape and dimension on the top side of her skeleton as well. To get around our class winner, she needs to be more comfortable in the way that she uses her spine, and the coordination of her rear leg needs to be improved as well. The red dapple that's going to end up here in third is another one that I think balances good from the side. I like the kind of shape she has to her skull, the roundness to her rib, the power that she brings to the table. She's got the same structure issues going directly ahead of her in the sense that she doesn't use her spine in the way that she needs to. She's more uncoordinated in the build of her hind leg, needs to be stouter in her bone work as well. This black-headed doe that's going to end up here in fourth. And if you're evaluating these solely from the side, I think there's a lot to like in that one. Hip forward. She's really good in the shape of her skull. She's long neck. She's tall fronted. She's elevated the base of her chest and soft back into her flank. All of those things help her balance really well from the side. For me, from a structure standpoint, she's just too steep out of her hip. Needs to be stronger on her rear pasterns. But the biggest reason why she's fourth in that initial group is because when you get your hands on her, she's easily the most disappointing from a muscularity and shape standpoint. You need to just see her a little bit stouter for her to work up any higher in this class. A young lady's doe that's going to come here in fifth is a really long-bodied, extended kind of a female that's actually got more shape down her top and out through her hip compared to the one directly ahead of her. It's just from the side. She doesn't balance up with the same kind of just look and presence in the way that she needs to work up any higher. The young lady's doe that's going to come here in sixth is a long neck, soft-shouldered, soft body, kind of a female that's really flexible, just needs more shape and muscularity. A similar story for the doe that's going to round out the class. I think she's got the right kind of parts and pieces at this stage of the game. Probably just needs more time than anything for her to bulk up and have the right kind of muscularity to her. But let's give those kids a nice round of applause.
And here's your results of Class 3 of Breeding Doe Show. Out in first in purple, back number 331, DJ Daly. Second in purple, 275, Gracie Clintonite. Out in third in blue, 311, Katie Anderson. Fourth in blue, 342, Keaton Benavasi. Fifth in blue, 302, Elsie Cool. Sixth in blue, 318, Maddie Anderson. Seventh in blue, 256, Katie Wolf. As we welcome in our next group, this will be class number 4, and this includes bag number 341, Kai Benavasi, and 296, Aaliyah Neckley. These does born April and May 2025. April and May 2025 born does. This will be first and second call now for class 5. First and second call for class 5 of breeding does.
nice pair of does out here. The young or the dapple doe that's going to go ahead and lead off with is a good structured, good balance kind of a female that that has a lot more shape and dimension compared to the other one out here. A nice one to go ahead and lead off with. The black doe that's going to come here in second, I think, has a bright future ahead of her. She's big-footed, her balance is good, and she's got the right kind of structure and body to her. Compared to the one ahead of her, she just doesn't have the same kind of mass and dimension or at this stage of the game, but still a nice one to round out this class. Let's give those individuals a nice round of applause.
Your results from Class 4, the leading goes out in first in purple, 341, Ty Benevisi. Second in purple, 296, Aaliyah Negley. I'll take us over now to Class number 5. These does all born December, January, and February 2023 to 2024. So again, late 2023 borns to early 2024 borns. So this will be first and second call now for class number 6. First and second call for class number 6. Make sure we have everybody lined up so we can keep our show moving efficiently. And we welcome in class number 5. On the back numbers, 275, Gracie Klingnight, 356, Riker Benevisi, and 295, Abby Negley. Along with 214, Addison Houter. We have 287, Carson Nichols, 289, Colin Nichols, and 290, Ryan Hagan. Again, these does born late 2023 to early 2024.
Nice group of does out here at the top end of this particular class, but the young lady's doe is going to win pretty comfortably for me. I think she combines the things I like in the does that come here in second and third. The doe that wins is easily the freshest and most youthful one out here. When you get your hands on her, that's a big back, powerful kind of a female that's fresh and expressive in her shape up high, and then with that is still easily the most athletic and comfortable in the way that she moves up higher into her skeleton out here in this particular class. It gets closer between second and third. I opted to go with the young man's doe for second because when these does are on the move, she's just more flexible up higher into her structure because she's more relaxed in her ankle and her shoulder. She's got a better posture of her hip and hind leg, which allows her to use her spine to shot more comfortably out here. She needs to be fresher and toned back in her just condition at this stage of the game. Just a little bit too plain and mature for her to go ahead and work up any higher. The doe that's going to come here in second, if you're just measuring these things out here from a width and dimension standpoint, she's probably would be the widest, the most powerful, the most dimensional one out here. And I appreciate all those things about her. It's just she's taking her power just a step too far and is starting to come with some structure issues. She's just too short-necked and jammed up front. I guess too straight on finally her skeleton and not flexible enough when she gets on the move. But I like what she brings to the table from a power standpoint. The doe that's going to come here in fourth is one of the more flexible does out here in this particular class. She gets out and moves with a lot of flexibility out there in her structure, like how neat and fresh she is, and look up front as well. Compared to the ones ahead of her, she needs more to establish the bone and feature down low to aid her balance from the side for her to work up any higher. The doe that's going to come here out in fifth is very similar to the one directly ahead, a stout skull, flexible kind of a doe that gets in on the move very comfortably up higher end. When you get your hands on her, she needs more shape and dimension up high for her to work up any higher on a tighter up there at the base of her chest as well to aid her balance from the side. Then the two does that are rounding out the class, they're very deep-bodied, flexible kind of females that just need more shape and muscularity to them. But let's give those kids a nice round of applause.
And let's look to your results here from Class 5. Out first in purple will be 214, Addison Howard. Second in purple will be 356, Riker Benevacy. Third in purple will be 275, Gracie Clintonite. Fourth in blue will be 295, Abby Negley. Fifth in blue will be 287, Carson Nichols. Sixth in blue will be 290, Ryan Hagan. Seventh in blue will be 289, Colin Nichols. I'll take us to class number 6. This is our final class of breeding does, so I will call first and seconds on alert to be ready for the championship drive. All first and second place does, we need you on standby for championship drive immediately following class number 6. In class number 6, we welcome in 342, Keaton Benevacy, 288, Keaton Nichols, 311, Katie Anderson, and 214, Addison Howard. These does all born in March of 2024. March 2024 born does.
that's what I've been looking at. When I looked out, and I was able to have to pay like $30,000 now. Yeah, and that was just my first year. And that
Two really stout and dimensional does at the top end of this class, and a young man's doe pairs are extra power and dimension, or just a shot more look and presence up front, particularly hip forward. That's a much longer neck, taller front end doe that's more elevated at the base of her chest and helps her just read just a shot more youthful and attractive in the way that she's put together. I like the extra stoutness of bone she has down low as well. I would like to see her just a bit stronger and right behind her shoulder and level her out through her hip. And that's particularly where I like the doe that's going to come here in second, because she is the level or top kind of a female. She's incredibly round body, and I like how she blends swing from her shoulder to her rib cage. She's got a ton of shape down her top and out through her hip. I think she's a very nice kind of a female in her own right. It's just when you get off to the side of this one, particularly when she's on the move, she's a shorter neck, heavier condition kind of a female that's plainer in the way that she's put together, tighter off either end of her skeleton. Just want to loosen that one up and give her a shot more length and extension in the way that she's put together from the side. A nice pair of does that's going to round out this class as well. The young lady's red doe that's going to end up here in third is a really loose, structured, good body kind of a female that just needs more power and dimension to compete with the one directly ahead of her. The black head doe that's going to round out the class is leveler down her top and out through her hip, and compared to the one that's going to end up here in third. But with that, she's just straighter in the angle of her blade, tighter in the way she moves out of her hip and hind leg, and she's going to be stoutened up in her bone work to work up any higher. But let's give those exhibitors a round of applause.
And the results coming out of class number 6, first in purple, 342, Keaton Bidabasi. Second in purple, 311, Katie Anderson. Third in blue, 214, Addison Howder. And fourth in blue, 288, Keely Nichols. Now we welcome in the championship drive of the 2025 Dawson County Breeding Goat Show on the meat division. All these primarily board-based does, and we welcome back in from class number 1, 341, Kai Bidabasi. Second out of that class, 356, Riker Bidabasi. Then we'll go to class number 2. We're coming out first, 342, Keaton Bidabasi. Possible reserve contingent, 275, Gracie Kunkenite. Coming back for class number 3, 331, DJ Dally. And second out of class number 3, 275, Gracie Kunkenite. We go to class number 4. Coming back is 341, Kai Bidabasi. Second out of that class, 296, Celia Neckley. Coming out of class number 5 is number 214, Addison Howder. And second from that class, 356, Riker Bidabasi. Coming from class number 6 will be 342, Keaton Bidabasi. And second out of class number 6, 311, Katie Anderson. So we've got all our champion first places in the ring for overall champion selection. Seconds on standby for possible reserve selection. We go ringside, we'll hand the mic over to the judge, let him tell us what he thinks, what he likes, and then we'll crown some champions. Don't forget, champion does, you will head immediately to the backdrop for your champion picture.
nice group of does out here in our championship drive, and I think there's several very competitive ones out here in these class winners. But I'll go out here and pick your champion, and then we'll get second place in that class out here in contention for reserve. But again, my compliments to you exhibitors, and then my compliments to you exhibitors. But for me personally, there's one doe that wins pretty comfortably for me. The doe out of class 2 is going to go ahead and be our champion. Let's congratulate that young man.
And your grand champion doe coming back for class number 2, that's 342 Keaton Bivasy, and his February 2025 born doe. Coming back in for reserve selection then will be 275 Gracie Claytonite, and February 2025 born doe. And it looks like your reserve champion will be coming back from your reserve champion comes from class 4, back number 341, Kai Benavasi. So recapping your championship drive, your grand champion from class 2, 342, Keaton Benavasi, and your reserve champion from class 4, 341, Kai Benavasi, with the April 2025 born doe. Let's put our hands together for all of our meat goat breeding goats. The great work they've done. That means we're going to roll over now into our market division, get kicked off with class number 1 of the lightweights. There's 2 entrances in there, so this will be call 1 as well for class 2. 4 classes overall in the meat goat division. So again, we'll kick off with class number 1 in the market meat goats. Our lightweights, 58 to 60 pounds.
Take out the loan. I'm also looking at get the I was to, this is just like rambling, but if they would go to a college first, would I still get the same amount of federal aid as I would to the state school again?
So again, we're about to kick off our Market Goat Show. We'll have class number 1 coming in. So everybody's ready on that side. That judge gives a signal, he's ready as well. So welcome in 316 Lucille Cool with her 58-pounder and 341 Hallie Livesey with her 60-pounder. Following the meat goat show, we're going to roll right into the pin of 3. Those are meat goats as well. Pin of 3 will be there on that. They'll start the dairy division with dairy showmanship, and we'll follow that up with the regular dairy show. And carcass.
This is like what I would go to the community college first. Would end up like by the time I would get yeah.
Nice pair of weathers to kick off the market portion of our show this afternoon. The one that's going to go out and win from a just power and dimension standpoint, holds a pretty big upper hand, a wider chest around her body goat. It's got more shape and dimension down his top, like the extra substance of bone that he has down low as well. Young lady's weather that's going to end up here in second, I think, is a little bit better in terms of just the strengths he has down his top line. I love when he's out through his head. He still balances well from the side. I just need more width and muscularity to get around our class winner. But let's go ahead and give those kids a nice round of applause.
And your results for class 1 lightweights on the market goat side include first in purple, 341, Hallie Livesey. Second in purple, 316, Lucille Cool. We'll swing the gate and welcome in class number 2, the market goats. We start to get to our midweights, 73 to 77 pounds here. As we welcome in, get all the goats up and rolling. Everybody's a little nervous. That's okay. At 319, Matthew Rhodes, 233, Cameron Rhodes, and 319, Matthew Rhodes with the second entry. So we got 3 in here weighing 73 to 77 pounds. Class number 2. So it'll be first and second call for class number 3. First and second call for class number 3 to line up.
No, so it would just be C, and then my last name. Yeah. And then at this is going to be I don't know the password.
That was San Diego. No, good. I was going to give you a whole list of things you needed to do while you're there. Charlie's the way to go.
Another nice group of goats out here in this particular class, but the young man's red doe's going to win pretty comfortably for me. When you get your hands on her, she's easily the most impressive in the shape over a wrap, long and power out through her hip. From the side, she still balances good. She's runs uphill. She's got the right kind of look and presence. Nice one to go ahead and win. The paint doe that's going to come here in second is the second best in terms of just shape and muscularity up high. Really wide constructed up kind of the doe. She needs to balance better from the side. She's shorter neck, she's deeper chested, lower fronted. It doesn't have the same kind of look and presence as a couple other ones out here. Then the weather that's going to round out the class is the biggest frame goat in this particular class. He's long necked, he's tall shouldered, he runs uphill. I just need to see him have more shape and dimension, particularly down his top and out through his hip, for him to get around the ones directly ahead of him. I was still a nice one to round out the class. Let's give those kids a nice round of applause.
And your results in class number 2 of the market goats as we go first in purple 319 Matthew Rhodes, second in purple 233 Cameron Rhodes, third in purple will come from Matthew Rhodes' second entry. And we swing the gate to class number 3 here on the market goods side. These start to get in towards our heavyweight division, 78 to 84 pounds, 78 to 84 pounds. Leading us off is 342 Keaton Benavisi. We have 234 Natalie Rhodes and 296 Olivia Neckley. 3 entrances overall. Gate shut. Class is complete. Ringside. Then a 3 on the market goods side. You'll be immediately following the championship drive here in the market goods show. So then 3 be ready immediately following the championship drive of the market goods.
Young ladies, Weather is going to go out and win this class again pretty comfortably for me. A really stout, skull, big-footed kind of a goat that's easily the most impressive in shape down his top and out through his hip. Still balance is good enough from the side for me. Nice one to go out and win. The weather that's going to come here in second is long neck, tall shouldered, big-footed kind of a goat that's opened up off either end of his skeleton. It just doesn't feed the same kind of shape and dimension right on the backside of his shoulder as my class winner. I was still a nice one to be sitting there in second. Then the black pink weather that's going to round out this particular class. And I like how he runs uphill. He's elevated the base of his chest. He's flexible in his structure. But the looser kind of weather is just too plain in the shape down his top or out through his hip. He just seemed just a shot stouter for him to compete with his contemporaries out here. But let's give those exhibitors a nice round of applause.
And results coming out of class number 3 on the market goods side. Out third in blue will be 296 Aaliyah Negley. Second in purple will be 342 Keaton Benavisi. First in purple will be 234 Natalie Rhodes. Congratulations to class number 3. Out of swing the gate now for class number 4 and the final goat for the final class for the market goods side. These are the heavyweight boys. Includes 331 DJ Daly. And 233 Cameron Rhodes. These goats weigh 99 to 103 pounds. 99 to 103 pounds. Heavyweight division starting now. So all my first and seconds be on standby for market goats as we'll move into the championship drive immediately following this. First and seconds on standby because immediately move into the championship drive after this. Then pin of 3, you are after the championship drive. So pin of 3 market goats, be ready for the champion after the championship drive.
Yep, that should be it. I believe so. Right, and that's kind of what but this is, I mean, the Southeast would be I had their best day of it.
Another nice pair of goats in this heavyweight class. The young lady's weather is just quite a bit fresher and more muscular and shapely when you get your hands on them. That's a wide constructed, powerful kind of a goat that's got a ton of shape down his top and out through his hip. Still balances well from the side. Nice one to go ahead and lead off with. Young man's a red weather that is working hard out here. Really big, dimensional kind of a goat that's opened up, and he's soft in his rib. He's just a shot too mature and playing at this stage of the game. Just needs more shape and dimension to him when you get your hands on them. But let's give those kids a nice round of applause.
And your results coming out of class number 4 of the market goats. First in purple be 233, Cameron Rhodes, and second in purple be 331, that BJ Daly. So that will conclude our regular show. We'll bring back our class champions, and it is time to head into the championship drive, the 2024 Dawson County Fair Meat Goat Show, as our market goats get set in and ready to rock and roll in. Thank you to all the volunteers out back behind, as well as those helping to assist us on sorting ribbons, keeping track of placings, our extension staff. It takes a small army to put on any livestock show, and we're thankful for the volunteers. If you think there can be improvements made, then tell us the improvements, volunteer to help make the improvements. More volunteers are always welcome to help make our shows better year after year. So thank you again to all the volunteers helping to put on the 2025 Dawson County Fair, especially here in our 4-H and FFA livestock shows. Pin of 3, you'll be immediately following this, so pin of 3, be ready. Here we go, so be thinking about it as we'll move to you after pin of 3. All right, let's welcome in our championship drive coming back in from class number 1, 341, that's Allie Bivasi. And the live weights weighing 60 pounds. Coming back from class number 2, 319, Matthew Rhodes, and a 77-pounder. From class number 3, it's 234, Natalie Rhodes, and an 81-pounder. From class number 4, 233, Cameron Rhodes, at 103 pounds. On the reserves contingent, coming in from our seconds, from class 1, 316, Lucille Poole, and a 58-pounder. From class 2, it'll be number 233, Cameron Rhodes, and a 77-pounder. From class 3, it'll be 342, Keaton Bivasi, and a 78-pounder. And from class 4, it'll be 331, DJ Daly, and his 99-pounder. So there we have it. Our championship drive is in the ring complete. We will turn it over to the judge, let him walk us through the final selection, and we'll crown some champions.
Out here in our champion drive for the Market Goat Show. Again, we have several really good livestock that came through the ring today. So again, compliments to you guys for getting the prep today, or for today's show. When it comes down to champion reserve, I think it's just comes down to the class winners out of class 2 and class 3. I think that's a nice pair of goats right there. They both handle really good and they balance well from the side. But when they're pulled to lead, there's just one in particular that's just shot more athletic in the way that they move around the ring on a stouter set of feet and legs. Young ladies, whether at class 3 is going to be champion, and then the doe out of class 2 will be a reserve. Let's give them a round of applause.
So your grand champion comes out of class number 3, 234, Natalie Rhodes at her 81-pound market goat. And your reserve champion will come back out of class number 2, 319, Matthew Rhodes, and his 77-pound market goat. One more time, let's put our hands together for our champions, as well as all of our market goat competitors here at the Dawson County Fair. As we exit the champions, we'll then bring in the market goat pin of threes. So market goat pin of threes, be ready. We may have carcass data, and we may not have carcass data. They're making some final results on that. And then we'll move right over into the dairy goat showmanship and into the dairy goat show. So again, pin of threes, you're up, and then it's dairy goat time. So pin of threes on the market goat side right now.
After the pen of 3, we're going to pull our carcass contest top 5. So be ready for that before we move on to dairy.
Well, it looks like it's going to be a showdown between our 100th Meridian crew on the left of the announcer side and goat getters on the right-hand side of the announcer stand. So again, we have 100th Meridian on the left, goat getters on the right. Good luck to our pin of 3.
Out here for our pen of 3 again. I think there's several different ways that people do this, depending on uniformity or how they've done in the show. I personally have always just assorted them basically how they ended up doing in the show. And on this pen over here to my left, we have our champion in reserve and what would have been probably the third or fourth overall. So I think that's a pretty tough group to beat. They're going to go ahead and be our champion, and then the other panel will be a reserve. Let's give them a round of applause.
Under 30, and will be your grand champion for the 3, and your reserve champion will be the Goat Getters. One more time, let's put our hands together for all of our Meat Goat crew. And we'll turn it back over to our extension, Sarah, as she has those top 5 on the carcass. And then we're going to get underway with the Dairy Goat Showmanship.
For the sake of ease, we are not going to do goats out with humans today for our top 5 carcass to make life a little bit easier for everyone. If I could have out here in no particular order, Natalie Rhodes, Matthew Rhodes, Cameron Rhodes, and Keely Nichols. All right, thank you guys. In our top 5, I'll let the grab reference first. Sorry, we're trying to information remember. In our top 5 in order for our market goat carcass, we have Keely Nichols. Our second place is Cameron Rhodes. Our third place is also Cameron Rhodes. Fourth place, Matthew Rhodes. And fifth place, Natalie Rhodes. Nice job, you guys.
Yeah, man, we're doing Oh, yeah.
All right, we're watering the judge, and then we'll swing the gates as we welcome in our Dairy Goat Showman. And we'll move over to the Junior Dairy Goat Showman. That includes 288 Keely Nichols and 256 Katie Wolf. 10 to 11 is the age range. Keely of the Eddyville and Southern Livestock 4-H Club. Katie of the Cozad Antelope Livestock 4-H Club. This is your Junior Dairy Goat Showman. Your Junior 4-H Dairy Goat Showman Trophy brought to you by the Milk House. Thank you to the Milk House for their support here at the Junior 4-H Dairy Goat Showmanship Trophy. We have a representative from the Milk House nearby. We'll have you head to the backdrop following the conclusion of the class to take a picture. The two very talented showmen out here in our junior showmanship division. I think
They're both doing a really nice job. And they both, I know what they're supposed to be doing, but one of their animals is just cooperating just a little bit better for them out here. A young lady to the left is going to go ahead and be our champion. The young lady in the green will be our reserve. Let's give them a round of applause.
And your grand champion, junior dairy goat showman, will be 288 Keely Nichols. And your reserve champion will be 256 Katie Wolf. Congratulations to our junior showman on dairy goat side. As they exit out to the ring, thank you again to Milkhouse for sponsoring that trophy. Let's go now to your intermediate dairy goat showman. And that'll include Ryan Hagan, unknown back number, and 289 Colin Nichols, both of the Southern Livestock 4-H Club. And your intermediate 4-H Dairy Goat Showmanship Trophy brought to you by Larrett Feed. Thank you to Larrett Feed for all their support as they sponsor the intermediate 4-H Dairy Goat Showmanship here at the Dawson County Fair.
Here in our second group of intermediate showmen, I think both of these young men do a really good job of eye contact and walking their animals around the ring. I think one just gets their animals set up just a little bit quicker, making sure that their animals set up where they need to be and not too bunched up or too stretched out. I'll go and show you who our champion showmen are, but let's give these kids a round of applause.
And it looks like 290 Ryan Hagan will be your grand champion, intermediate Jerry Good Showman, and your reserve champion will be 289 Colin Nichols. Again, your grand champion 290 Ryan Hagan, reserve champion 289 Colin Nichols, your intermediate Dairy Goat Showman, brought to you by Larrett Feed. Now the senior division is going to be a tight one. And we have single entrance, 287 Carson Nichols of Eddyville in the Southern Livestock 4-H Club. This will round out the Dairy Goat Showmanship after Carson's senior class, and then that will take us into the regular Dairy Goat Show. So class number 1 of Dairy Goats looks like those are under 5 months. So born in March 2025, be getting ready. Class 1 of Dairy Goats, be getting ready. Thank you to Ryan and Carrie, our ring stewards for today. They've done an outstanding job keeping the show moving and flowing. Thank you to the crew out back behind as well, to our folks that are making sure all of our classes are lined up, the kids have the right goats and the right lambs. Takes a small army, so thank you to all of our great supporters, and thank you to all the great sponsors you see their banners hanging out around the show ring.
Probably only division I'll get right with everybody all day, but let's give this young man a big round of applause for our champion senior showman and for coming out here.
And your grand champion, senior Dairy Goat Showman, the trophy sponsored by the Milk House, is none other than Carson Nichols of Eddyville and Southern Livestock 4-H Group. So congratulations, Carson, on being your grand champion, senior Dairy Goat Showman. Now, let's go back over to, so long as the wind keeps blowing my papers around, the Gary Goat division as we start with Class 1, those under 5 months. And we've got a set of La Mancha board crosses, both exhibited by 256 Katie Wolf. Class 2 on deck and be getting ready. Class 3, be thinking about it as well as Class 2 is a single entry. So we'll move fast to our 3 Dairy Goat classes. We'll crown a Dairy Goat champion. I think that's going to do it for the 2025 Goat and Sheep Show here at the Dawson County Fair.
Let's do our own devices. Yeah, be more fixed than the rest of
Those are welcoming Katie Wolf and her assistant as they bring in these La Mancha board crosses. And those under 5 months, they were born in March 2025.
Yeah. You're very good. You're going to have to be a serious
Nice pair of does out here in this class. But the young ladies' brown does can go out and win. Just structure and balance alone. That's the longer neck, taller shoulder doe that's more attractive in the build of her hip and hind leg. And then going away, she's more secure in the way that she utilizes her hawk as well. A nice one to go ahead and lead off with. The doe that's going to come here in second is the bigger footed doe that's got a shot more just a boldness to her rib and has a more shape down her top. Just doesn't balance up quite as good as our class winner. She's deeper chested, down her hip, and wants to roll her hop going away. But nice for those
Talked to
big young
Education
ladies
West,
to move around the
talked to
balls.
Wayne State. It looks like I would just have to.
And while both were owned by Katie Wolf, it is going to be first and purple exhibited by 295. And then your second and purple will be
So it
256
looks like
Katie
the
Wolf.
interest rate's pretty high.
I'll take us now over into our single entrance for class number 2, 288 Keely Nichols. Their 2 to 3 year old milking doe. This is a La Mancha doe born in March 2023. March 2023 born 2-year-old milking doe exhibited by Keely Nichols, back number 288.
I
The
just.
thing is if you did decide then to go to Southeast transfer.
Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking. So I'm gonna make sure Because it looks like no matter what I have to do, I'm gonna have to end up paying quite a bit of money. I'm working right now. I'm just like live streaming the Dawson County Fair. I don't think so.
Nice single entry here in this class. Good looking, good balance kind of note. It's a really long body that runs uphill. She's very even and refined in the placing of her udder and her teeth structure as well. She's good in her forerunner attachment. A nice kind of a note in this single entry class. Let's give her a round of applause.
And first in purple from class number 2 will be 288 Keely Nichols with her 2-year-old milking La Mancha. And that'll take us to our third and final class. So first and seconds, be on standby for your championship drive of the Dairy Goats. But right now, we crack the gate and welcome in class 3. That includes back number 290, Ryan Hagan, 289, Colin Nichols, and 287, Carson Nichols. This is your 4 years and over milking does. Ryan is exhibiting an Alpine, Colin and Carson exhibiting La Manchas, all born 2019 to 2023. So again, these are your 4 and over. So I bet that's supposed to be a 2020. There we go. 2019 and 2020 born milking does.
You need 1.5. It'll look better on you than
Nice trio of does out here in this final class. The young man's doe that's going to lead off with her structure and balance and look is the most impressive amongst this set. And then in terms of her udder structure, she's the most even and correct and square in the placement of her teats as well. Nice one to go ahead and lead off with. The young man's doe that's going to come here in second is a long body doe that's right above her out of her hips in our class winner. She's fuller in her udder as well, but her balance from the side isn't nearly as just attractive and seamless in the way that she's put together. Kind of wants to splay out in her teats just ever so slightly, give them a shot to pointed forward, but still a nice doe who was sitting there in second. The doe that's going to round out the class is a good structured kind of a female that's very flexible up on her end. Doesn't have the same kind of this volume and capacity to her rib. Needs to be refined in her teeth structure as well. But let's give those kids a nice round of applause.
And your results from class 3 will be first purple, 287, Carson Nichols. Second in purple, 289, Colin Nichols. Third in blue will be 290, Ryan Hagan. All right, let's welcome in the championship drive. It comes down to this, the final one for 2025 of the Dawson County Fair, and it's the Dairy Goat Show. Coming back from class number 1 is 256, Katie Wolf. From class 2 is 288, Keely Nichols. And from class 3, 287, Carson Nichols. We've got everything from under 5 months to 4 years and over in milk. So what a championship drive we have lined up for us here today. Your seconds from class 1, 256, Katie Wolf. And your second from class 3, 289, Colin Nichols. Once again, we thank Cal Schultz for all of his hard work here at the Dawson County Fair, sorting our sheep and goat show today. He is also your head coach for the UNL Livestock Judging Team. What an opportunity for these kids to get out and possible in front of where they'll go to college. So excited. Cal, thank you so much for coming and sorting our show. And we'll turn it to him ringside as each picks our champion.
Already, you mean?
Well, thanks again for having me out to sort through the sheep and goat shows here this morning. Can we put our hands together to all the volunteers in the ring help for working with us through the show here today? I thought it's been going really well. When it comes back to the picking our champion doe out here, I think it comes down to a pair of them between classes 2 and 3. I think both those class winners are very nice. My personal opinion, the doe out of class 2 is just a shot better in the way that her udders put together. It's fuller, she's more refined in her teats, and still has a lot of good balance and look to her structure, hit forward. She's going to go ahead and be our champion, along with class 3 for reserve. Let's give them a nice round of applause.
And your grand champion, Gary Gill, will come from class 2 to a Keely Nichols with her 2-year-old La Mancha, and your reserve champion from class 3, 287, Carson Nichols with his 4-year-old La Mancha. Let's put our hands together once again for all of our contestants here today, our champions and all of our hardworking youth. The 4-H Cafe is open. Make sure you go out and have a delicious piece of pie as well, a lot of great food. Friday special today. It's beef and noodles. Beef and noodles is today. So go over and have some beef and noodles. Enjoy that. 4 o'clock will be the beef show, so come back, ringside, 4 o'clock, beef show starts. We'll put a shameless plug in at 7 o'clock, Boots of Valor, and Veterans Appreciation Rodeo side, and the rodeo performance starts at 8 p.m. So we're trying to make it where the beef kids can finally get to the rodeo. And then 7 p.m. tomorrow night, the Elite Showman Show. All sorts of things happening here at the Dawson County Fair.
I don't know, literally all day today.
All right, one last reminder that the University of Nebraska Extension at Dawson County Fair has our Crop Talk focused on pest management from 1 to 4 p.m. today. We're featuring some hands-on pesticide application technology, high clearance spraying demonstrations, pest diagnostics, and more. Stop by the office, go check that out. And if you haven't met our extension educator for crop and water systems, make sure you head out there.
Southeast, and that's the one I applied for originally. So, yeah, but that Wayne. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
My luck, somebody had to do that. That didn't win.
That'd be worse than mine. Well, I mean, before I became
Thank you, guys. I really enjoy that. That's exactly where I was going to go.
Thank you, appreciate it. That's not what I said at all. Never watched it.
Good to see everybody.
Yeah, I don't want to see this.
They were
Yeah, I did a good check-in. It's got enough for 12 hours. Yeah, no air conditioning, one small fan.
I know.
I'm gross.
Oh, is that up to
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Are we done?